Hey everybody, it's Dan Rayfield, your state representative from Corvallis, Philomath, and Oregon State University, and today we wanted to give you a little bit of a video recap of what happened during the 2019 legislative session. However, we know that watching a video, or even worse, reading one of those legislative emails, is not always the most exciting things, and in fact, sometimes it's boring. So today, we wanted to do a video update in the style of a professional YouTube star. So here we go. Whoa! What's up, everybody? Dan Rayfield here. Yeah, that just isn't gonna work. Much better. Let's get started. Let's get into the recap of the legislative session. But do you know what today is? Today is Tuesday. And you know what happens on Tuesday? That's right, Top Issue Tuesday. And we got a box here today with the 3 top issues that the legislature tackled during the 2019 session. Let's take a look. I am excited. We get, packages all the time. It's fantastic. My favorite day of the week is getting these boxes. Ooh, wow. Okay, this is going to be good. All right, what do we have here? The first issue we have that the legislature tackled was health care. We believe that it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, you should have access to affordable, quality health care. And we made sure this session, with the passage of House Bill 2010, that the Oregon Health Plan will continue to be funded for 6 years. It was a big priority. We tackled that early on in February, and I'm proud to say that that was our first big top 3 priority that happened in the session. What's next? So the second issue was education. Oregon has chronically underfunded our K-12 education system, and it was a big priority for us to find a way to put game-changing revenue into our K-12 system. We were finally able, towards the middle of the session, to pass a revenue funding package that will put $2 billion into our school system. Last but not least, let's see what the third top issue that the legislature dealt with, and it was housing. Oregon's housing crisis has been growing over the last few years, and it doesn't matter whether you live in Coos Bay or whether you live in Portland. This is something that the legislature had to and wanted to address during this session. And we did this in the form of policy and in the form of investments to increase the supply of housing. First and foremost, in the realm of policy, we passed Senate Bill 608, which increased tenant protections and ended no-cause evictions. This was a first-in-the-nation bill. We also had bills that increased what we call middle housing for workers and families across Oregon and all communities. We then had the form of investments, which totaled roughly $350 million of investments to expand access to housing and the stock of housing across Oregon. These took the form of bonds for low-income housing all the way to children homelessness programs to help end homelessness among our youth. So that brings us to a close of Top Issue Tuesday. You might think that those are the only bills or issues we worked on, but you'd be wrong, which brings us to a segment I like to call Bonus Bills. Huh? I wasn't expecting someone. All right. Who could it be? Oh my gosh, it's Tony Lapese.
Hey, everybody.
Tony's works in my office. He's also a fellow YouTube content creator.
Yeah.
How many videos do you got, Tony?
None.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
We were just doing a little video on the legislative session. You want to do a collab?
I mean, I've been there before. I could help out.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming over.
Such a pleasant surprise.
Let's go ahead and get started with our bonus bills section today. Tony Lapese, kick it off, please.
Well, I would be so honored.
Lapese, please.
Gotcha. All right, so the first bill that I really enjoyed that came out of this session was House Bill 2007, aka our clean diesel bill, which starts to address some of the air quality issues that Oregonians are facing here in Oregon by creating a process to phase out dirty diesel, aka old diesel engines in the Portland metro area, and this process can eventually be spread statewide.
All right, the first bill for me is paid family leave. Ever since U.S. Senator Merkley was in the state legislature, the Oregon legislature has been working on paid family medical leave. And finally this session, we were able to accomplish this. This creates essentially an insurance program for working families if they have family health problems themselves, or they have maternal leave that they want to take. They will be able to do so without fear of losing their job or their employment or their wages during that period of time, so that they can take care of their family. So it'll be really good for working families across the state of Oregon. Paid family leave, Tony Lapise.
Well,
what do you got?
I can see your paid family medical leave, and I will raise you criminal justice reform. Senate Bill 1008 looks at our criminal justice system and begins to acknowledge the science of youth's brain and the fact that they're still developing. Previously, youth would be automatically subject to mandatory minimums under Measure 11. Senate Bill 1008 reforms this and allows our courts to acknowledge the fact that youth brains are still developing and sentencing them accordingly, and henceforth moving our justice system towards a more reformative process.
And the thing that I like about that is it actually has a second look provision for some of these youths halfway through their sentence.
You know, good catch.
That's right. Next on my list is the child welfare investments that we made during this session. Child welfare was an area that the legislature wanted to make a meaningful impact. We did that by putting significant investments into the Department of Human Services to add close to 350 new bodies to decrease caseloads and to improve the services that families receive and ensure that children are kept safe. We also focused on foster care families, encouraging recruitment and making sure that they have the support to maintain and stay in the system so that children always have a safe place to go. I'm excited to see what improvement is made over the next 2 years, as we've already made significant improvement over the last 2 years.
Speaking of investments, the legislature was able to recognize and start to address some of the behavioral health issues many Oregonians are facing throughout our state. We know that many of the people in our community are suffering from mental health issues, addiction, and substance use disorders. So, the legislature made the decision to invest nearly $100 million to begin strengthening and empowering the community organizations that work with these people and increase their outcomes to better their lives.
Well, that concludes our bonus bill segment.
Are you sure about that?
No, because I was just lying. We're going to get into our office priorities. So you didn't see that coming, did you? Bonus bills. Those bonus bills included campaign finance reform, which was one of our biggest priorities during this session. And we had 3 bills focusing on this, and I'm excited to say that all 3 bills passed this session. The first bill is something that you personally are going to be able to take action on, and that is a constitutional amendment that will allow us, Oregonians, or the legislature, to pass campaign finance limits so we can finally have limits on campaign finance contributions in Oregon. The second bill that was passed was a dark money bill. Right now, millions of dollars can be donated to 501c4s and 6s, and those organizations can then spend that money in our politics. And this happens election after election, but we never get to know who those donors are. That's why we call it dark money. This bill is one of the most, on the forefront of legislation across the United States. It is probably one of the most stringent to actually disclose who those donors are who are putting money into our campaigns across Oregon, whether it's a ballot measure or whether it's an actual individual campaign. The final bill requires advertising done in politics to require paid for by. Right now, it is merely discretionary if you purchase an ad or pay for an ad to put paid for by. This bill will require that, and it goes a step further where it requires the individuals or entities that are paying for those ads to put their top 5 donors and list them on that ad. Very big session for campaign finance reform. Actually, a pretty big session for all policy areas and investments.
Yeah, we got a lot done.
This is true.
Pour les meilleurs, car il y a de meilleurs.
We are nearing the end of the video, and we just want to say thank you for watching. Hopefully this has been informative. The long session is now over, and we are going to be working and preparing for the upcoming short session in February. That means meeting with people in the community, continuing to work on our policy bills so that they are refined for the upcoming session, and that presents a lot of work as we move forward, but we're excited about it.
Yeah. And as issues come up that you'd like to tell us about, or if you'd just like to chat, you can always give us a call, email us, both of which are going to be down below in the comments, as well as following us on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, Twitter.
And you know what? I'm actually going to put the emails and the phone numbers right on his face.
And then Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook are all going to be stacked right here.
This is getting awkward. So continuing with the theme of YouTube star, go ahead and smash that like button, or maybe just like it
and subscribe.
And subscribe
and share even.
Oh, you can share. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Yeah. All right, thanks everyone. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody, it's Dan Rayfield, your state representative from Corvallis, Philomath, and Oregon State Representative. We are at the Village Green City Park. And the wind's blowing. Wind is blowing.
By no longer measure 11. It prevents.
Did you hear that? He's swearing on the camera. Oh my goodness. There are children watching. We're gonna have to put the YouTube filters on.
I hate this so much. Why did you come up with the idea to make me do part of the video?
Come on!
Then it built 10...
Well, someone start that over. That was weird. Plus I'm starting to sound like a radio DJ.